I really don't know what to make of this one. What am I gonna do with you? Yeah, that's right, folks. I don't know what to make of this one. So, today on Retro Davo, we're going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. Now, this one is a great game, but it's also a really weird mixed bag game, I guess you could call it. But we'll soon find out, won't we? So, without further ado, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, the Minish Cap is the second game in the Legend of Zelda timeline. Well, at least currently. Because some speculate that the upcoming Zelda Wii U could take place between Skyward Sword and the Minish Cap. But let's not speculate and jump to conclusions. Let's leave that for when we know. So, the events in the Minish Cap take place after the era of prosperity and after in the era of chaos, the sacred realm was sealed by Rauru. Now, at the end of Skyward Sword, Zelda and Link decided to stay on the ground and inhabit the land. The descendants of the goddess Hylia, who was reincarnated as Princess Zelda, established the Kingdom of Hyrule and became Hyrule's royal family. In order to protect the Triforce, Hyrule Castle was built in the center of Hyrule, where the Temple of Time was located. Princesses were repeatedly given the name Zelda. I know, that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard. In the first major event to happen since the Kingdom of Hyrule was established, the world was engulfed by evil beings and shrouded in darkness. It was then that a tiny Picori descended from the sky bringing a golden light and a sword. Using the sword, the hero of men sealed the evil beings away in the bound chest and brought peace to the world once again. The golden light was the light force, not to be confused with the Triforce. If you ask me, that's confusing enough as it is. But apparently, the Triforce and the light force are two separate things. The light force and the Triforce are two different things. After sealing away the evil beings, the royal family of Hyrule became the careful overseers of the sword, which became known as the Picori Blade. The customs of the Picori festival had continued for many, many years. Among them was a sword fighting tournament. The awards ceremony was held in front of the Picori Blade, and was the only chance to see the blade. Yup. So, now we not only have the Light Force and the Triforce, but we also now have the Master Sword and the Picori Blade. Is this confusing enough yet, people? Because these are apparently two separate items. For the 100th year of the Picori Festival, there was an unusually grand celebration. In the customary sword fighting tournament, an unknown man named Vaati was the victor. Vaati believed the light force was in the bound chest. He broke the Picori blade to unseal the chest and found that it did not contain the light force at all. The evil that had been sealed inside poured forth from the chest. Vaati turned Princess Zelda into stone and headed off in search of the light force. And so begins The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. The curse placed on Princess Zelda could only be broken with the sacred power of the Picori Blade. The tribe of the Picori, also known as the Minish, were the only ones able to fix the Picori Blade, and they could only be seen by children. Therefore Smith, the great blacksmith, oh yeah.
That's dumb too! The blacksmith's name is Smith. How clever are they being here, folks?
But anyways, therefore Smith, the great blacksmith, proposed that the king of Hyrule enlist the help of young Link. The king told Link where the Minish dwelled. Then, with the broken Picori blade and the smith's sword in hand, Link set off in search of their land. On his way to the Picori's home in the Minish woods, young Link met Elzo, a man suffering from a curse that had been placed on him by Body, who turned him into a hat. And this, until Skyward Sword, was the answer of how the legendary hero, why they wore a green hat. But not anymore, folks. Link came to learn that Elzo had been a Minish sage, and Vadi had been his apprentice. When Vadi put on the mage's cap made by Elzo, he gained evil powers and cursed Elzo by changing him into the shape of a cat. Still on a quest to obtain the Light Force, Vadi took control of the King of Hyrule and had him order his soldiers to search for the Light Force. Vadi learned from the legend of the Wind Tribe that when the four elements were collected and placed in the elemental sanctuary, a holy sword would be born, and the path to the Light Force would open. Knowing that Link was collecting the four elements, Vadi waited until a time when he could take the elements from Link. After collecting all of the four elements, Link placed them on the sacred pedestal. The Picori blade became infused with sacred power and transformed into the Four Sword, which gave the wielder the ability to split into four identical copies of himself.
So, now we have another sword. The Four Sword. Oh boy. But we'll get into that soon enough.
Simultaneously, a door beyond the pedestal opened, revealing the legend that the Light Force dwelled within the Princess Zelda, generation after generation. After Vadi followed Link and learned about the Light Force, he took Wait a minute.
The Light Force dwelt within Princess Zelda? I thought one of the Triforces dwelt within Princess Zelda. So, are you saying that the Light Force is a part of the Triforce? This is really confusing here, guys. Anyways, we'll keep that in mind.
So, as confusing as all this story is, underneath all that bullshit is a really good Legend of Zelda game that was released on the Game Boy Advance. Now, this game is also the start of the Four Swords trilogy, which include Minish Cap, Legend of Zelda Four Swords, which was a side game released on the re-release of A Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance, and Four Swords Adventure on the GameCube. Now, Why, though, all three games are in different areas of the timeline is beyond me. But the Minish Cap, it's a very unique Zelda game. However, it's also possibly too short of a Zelda game. I mean, it's a great game. It's just too short. Because after you get the elements, you pretty much head to the castle to defeat Vaati. And it's really, really a pretty simple game, guys. I mean, true, the graphics in this game are unlike any other Zelda game. Possibly the closest they resemble is A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. But they're like a cross between the Super Nintendo and what was the model of Link in The Wind Waker. In fact, a lot of the enemies in this game come from The Wind Waker. So, guys, I don't know about this game. It's a great Legend of Zelda game, but let's face it, it has some really weird shit going on in the story. But that's not a reason to hate this game. In fact, I would recommend you buy this game either by downloading it from the eShop on your 3DS, which I originally did, but I liked it so much that I eventually just hunted down a physical copy. But yeah, this game is amazing too in its own rights, but it does have some very weird flaws that, you know, just, it confuses the hell out of people. I mean, what else? How confusing is it that they call it the Light Force? I mean, come on, we're all used to the Triforce, and we all know that there's a Triforce of Light that Zelda has, so is this Light Force just a piece of the Triforce? I mean, I don't know. There's options here. It's either its own power, or it's the Triforce piece of light that Zelda always has, hence why she has light arrows. And second of all, Vaati just seems like a lame substitute for Ganondorf. I mean, he's kinda interesting, but kinda not. It's hard to say. And also the idea that a talking cap gave the hero the idea to wear a hat is stupid. I mean, that's not even relevant to the story anymore. It's relevant to this story, because this hero chose to wear a cap afterwards, but it's not the case for all the heroes anymore, because Skyward Sword takes place before, and we already saw from the footage, Link is wearing the green cap. So, this game is older, but let's face it, guys, it's flawed. But do I think this is a bad game?
No, I don't think this is a bad game at all. I just think it's really confusing as all fuck. But in the end, I do say this is a good game, but I really think, you know, you heard me. It's really, really confusing, and it's full of bullshit. I mean, a cap giving you the idea to wear a hat? That's stupid. Vaati is a nothing compared to Ganondorf. And just the idea that princess upon princess upon princess, every princess born is named Zelda? That's dumb. But then again, the Zelda games are not about the story. They're about the game. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. And make sure to join me next time as we talk about The Legend of Zelda: Four Swords. See you next time.